What's the worst thing a teacher has done or said to you or someone else? One of my former colleagues before he got fired to a kid who stuttered, "Get my cock out of your mouth and say that again." My teacher asked me if I was jealous of my older brother since he is such a great guy and so smart. It may seem small, but the tone of her voice was important. I had never realized people admired my brother in any way more than me. That was 30 years ago this year. I still think about it sometimes. It really hurt to hear someone describe me as the lesser sibling. In kindergarten, my teacher held a coloring competition. I took so much time using crayons to color within the lines. She looked at mine and called it scribble scrabble. I still resent that bitch 30 years later. 3rd grade. Everyone had to spend the day with their faces on the desk. Your forehead and nose had to literally touch the desk unless she was speaking directly to you or you were doing a worksheet. Fuck you, Mrs. Knight. Your husband died just to get away from you. If you don't go outside and play with the other children, when you grow up, you'll be a cripple in a wheelchair. Said to me when I was 5. School starts young where I'm from because I had bad asthma, so I was reading in the library instead of running around. Fucked up on so many levels. Worst thing a teacher did to me was smash my dreams. I was in 4th grade, maybe, drawing. And my art teacher saw me and said, "Well, I know the one thing you'll never be is an architect." Guess what my dream job was at the time? Like, why the fuck would say that to a child? I got in trouble for saying Chad was a country. My school was really violent. I got slapped in the face in 1st grade by the teacher for mouthing off. I sure did afterward. Called her a bitch. Got sent to the principal's office. We had one teacher who had a paddle with screw tips that stuck out about an inch. Same teacher would also make you put your head up against a concrete wall if you refused this screw tip paddle. So the regular paddle would hit you, then you'd smash the top of your head into the wall. Your choice. One teacher slammed a student kidney first into the eraser shelf on the chalkboard. A principal who was 67 picked a friend of mine who was about 56 and 140 pounds by the collar of his shirt and smashed his head repeatedly 5 or 6 times into the concrete wall above the door jamb. Lots of fighting in class, a stabbing or two, the occasional gun. Fun times in rural late 80s Ohio. Middle school English teacher first day of class. You were too young to have formed any worthwhile opinions. Therefore you will keep your opinion to yourself. The persuasive writing unit was a sadistic psychops aimed at destroying any iota of adolescent self-esteem. I was a troubled teen, and I'd been in juvie, and I went back to my regular school where I had this teacher who hated me the whole time I was at the school, had already told me I was just going to end up in prison. But I was in his class, and he asked me a question, and I gave him some answer which I suppose was wrong because then he said in this shitty tone, "Is that what they teach in juvie school?" So then I got up and walked out and went to the principal and I was like, "Hey, juvenile proceedings are super confidential and he's not actually legally allowed to say that." The principal was like, "Foog, why do you know this stuff lol? Damn teachers causing him damn problems." In case you're wondering, it wasn't just general talk is illegal, it was because the teacher had this information officially disclosed to him, and he cannot then disclose what he learned from that information. So yeah, ass that thing to say and illegal. My schedule got rearranged that same day, and then the teacher continued to glare at me until I left the school. Well, coming from experience, and this was horrifying to see as a kid, I had this 3rd grade teacher right. Where I'm from, you have one from 1st to 4th grade, plus a few that teach you some languages maybe and sports teacher, but you have main one right. Besides the fact that she used to beat the shit out of us, we had a bully right. He was a bad kid. Well, one day she got some guys from the class and had them restrain him to a table and beat him, all of them. This image haunts me even now, no matter what that poor kid do, he didn't deserve this. He was just a kid. Some teachers are really fucked in the head. TL:DR. Evil teacher restrained the bully to a table and had some guys beat him badly. No one deserves something like this and it's a haunting memory. Not even a bully, he has to be taught, not beaten, like WTF edit. Cause I believe this is important, she even became principal after. It sounds so bad and hard to believe, but I swear to God it's true. And she was a fucking bad principal too. Looking down on kids, she had her own kid in that school too, and of course he was treated differently than others. It's fucked up, but it's true. My teacher told this Mexican girl in my class who was being a nuisance to go back to the border. My math teacher senior year was talking shit about my friend and how dumb she was to the other students in my class who didn't like the girl and were always picking on her. I stopped her in the middle of the conversation and told her I was going to fight her on my last day of school, even if it meant I couldn't walk at graduation. She got pregnant right at the end of the year, so I obviously couldn't. Years later, her mother-in-law came into my place of work. She gave me her last name, and I asked if she knew the teacher, and her face went sour. I told her I hated her, and we bonded over how awful she was. Also, a history teacher choked a kid out in the hallway in that same high school. Our headmistress threw a girl over the fence by her hair. Not me, but a friend. A music teacher once told him music isn't supposed to be fun. My guy would go on to play in well-respected metal and indie bands in the 2000s. Nothing huge, but locally recognized, and did some international touring. He's a very talented guitar player and had lots of fun playing music. Fuck you, MS. James? That I would grow up to be a useless burden on society. I was having a hard time in high school through my parents' divorce and was a bit of a rabble-rouser. This was a private school, so band shirts weren't allowed, but nobody there knew who Tool was, so I got away with wearing their shirt. My history teacher asked me, in front of the class, "Hippie, does your shirt say Tool? Because in fact, you are just a tool. Fuck you, MS. Price." Teacher told me I was going to end up in prison. I'm in college on my way to become a lawyer now. In my high school there was a teacher that told a newly diagnosed diabetic girl she couldn't check her blood sugar in class. I was in 8th grade and putting on lip gloss while checking my compact mirror during dismissal. My teacher was in front of me and said, "What's the point? It's not helping." Not the worst thing ever, but it hurt my feelings and lowered my self-esteem a lot.